We're gonna be safe and sound tonight.
Hello. We have some mathematics today. A little while ago, I did the math on the mind token from the Articles of Syndication, and it was really revealing. And I was really enthusiastic about the results. And so I said, why can't I do the mathematics for the Panarchist Constitution? Which is a really big question mark for me, because other than the annual budget, military budget for the United States, I really don't know anything about military funding or the military in general. So I did all of this math. This was actually very difficult math. It took me probably over an hour, which is a long time for me. Not to brag or anything. A little bit of humble brag there. But these from the top are from Wikipedia. This is just statistics that I looked up. So I just took some countries that people might be familiar with, their size and their general culture, general, stuff. Switzerland, Iran, Denmark, United States, Ukraine, China. So this is your dollars per soldier right here. And then you have soldiers per 1,000 people, per 1,000 population. And then you have your spending as a percent of GDP. So the GDP I didn't really use on the bottom because I don't really believe in GDP. I think it's all fake. So a lot of GDP is actually tax and spend policy from the government. It's not really. It's a lot of it's just inflation and fake bullshit. So unfortunately, we use this part, estimated GDP in Arkology. It's 20,000 right now. We're assuming a collapse in GDP because the tax and spend is dying. Arkology destroys the tax and spend. It does not completely because you have the UBI, but it reduces the tax and spend by about 80%. So we're going to look at a very strong decrease in our GDP, and this is adjustable. So this is about a 50% decrease. This is the amount of GDP taxed by the freight depots. If you read the Panarchist Constitution, the sales tax is in the freight depots. So this is 25%. This may even be lower than 25%. U.S. population. This is for how many soldiers, because this is your per soldier. We're comparing your per soldiers to per soldiers. Per soldiers on the top, per soldiers on the bottom. And then you have your military size here. I told you this was complicated math. You have your military size here. This is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 compared to these numbers right here. And this is our dollars per soldier desired, $15,000. And if it's below this threshold, we just get a cheapskate result. So you can kind of just look around and see what options you have before you don't have the funding. And then finally, I was thinking, this also has the foreign tariffs, the tariff tax, and we currently have a $500 billion trade deficit, which is our imports. But I assume in an Arkology situation that might drop to about $300 billion. This is once again for a full United States. So you get like a good size comparison for what we might be talking about. And then you want to kind of match the military size and not the military funding, because this is outrageous. Look at this outrageous number compared to the Ukraine, 4,600. That might be a little too low, obviously. But look at, if you see the range here, the mid is like 20 to 40,000, and then China has 63,000, average 77. But the United States, outrageous $300,000 per soldier per year. Disgusting. But if the Ukraine is under attack right now by Russia, even though they have they have the largest military, almost 3% of their population is the military, yet they're under attack right now because they just don't have the armor. They don't have the sophisticated technology. which is really something to consider. And so to get in a more reasonable range, I chose 15,000 right here. And Iran, we are not invading Iran. I think because they have an alliance with China too. See, all these geopolitics come into play when you're talking about what is a fair number. And it's always harder to attack a foreign country than it is to defend your own country. And also, once you buy military hardware, once you actually acquire the military hardware, you could lower your military costs. So this is your obviously panarchist sales tax rate. I realized that after doing this math, that the 3% maximum may actually be a little too low. Actually, I added this. The 3% was too low, and then I added the foreign tariffs. And this $30 billion actually significantly alters and increases and improves the mathematics, improves the funding. So, let's say 15,000 is too low. We're going to go up to 20. Look at this. Even with, right here, 1% panarchist sales tax rate. $20,000 per soldier. 9 soldiers per 1,000. This gets us about on par with Iran's military, with a 1% panarchist sales tax rate. Now let's say we want, no one really messes with Switzerland. I don't know why. They're always neutral. And we want to be neutral. The panarchist constitution is a very neutral peacekeeping document. So let's just go up on the higher end, 30,000, which is still a 90% decrease from the United States. We're talking about a 90% decrease in military funding. And it's still reasonable. It's still reasonable. $30,000 right here. 3% instead of the 1% right here. Or you can drop down to if you want less people, but let's say it's very militarized, very has very good technology. This is a 1%, still at a 1% because you drop down the soldiers from 9 per 1,000 to 6 per 1,000. I mean, that's about double the per capita size of the Chinese military with half the funding. So you're actually looking at, with a 1% panarchist sales tax rate, you're looking at a military that's really on par with these other countries. Now let's say our tariff tax is, let's say the import tariffs actually go down to 200. Ooh, see, now things definitely change. Now we're at 1.5%. Not the end of the world. If let's say we want 40,000, that's 2%. This would be a very fair military size, I think. And the market's going to kind of play between this 1 and this 2%. And then the import tariffs as well. But yeah. That's what to expect. The 6%, we're talking about a very formidable military. To match China, 60,000. So you just look on your chart. 3 soldiers per 1,000, okay. 60,000, okay. 1.5% to match China's military. And then we have 3 times the people. So if we actually want to match the numbers of China, because of this, we have a 1/3 population, our country does. So we need 3x the soldiers per 1,000. So we need 9 soldiers per 1,000 at 63. Right there, 5.5% would match the Chinese military in absolute strength. Now, those numbers might be... Now, let's say this is like 8,000. The GDP really takes a hit. And then let's say our wholesale trade percent of GDP is only 20. So now a 6% will not even get us. If we wanted to match like China's military, now we're at 3% right here, 2.5%. And then, but the cool thing is, as the Pan-Arctic Constitution takes over more and more of the globe, the military gets stronger and stronger. And you might actually want I don't know. Anyway, got lost on a little tangent in my head there. But yeah, it's getting a little more unaffordable, as you can see on the right hand side here. But really, if you wanted to match like Iran or Switzerland, 20,000, you're at for maybe 9 people, 6 to 9 people, 1.5 to 2.5%. Really not bad still. And this is with the lower import tariff estimate, and the lower GDP estimate, and the lower GDP tax estimate, 1.5 to 2.5%. And this is really a modest military. Honestly, I would not, I wouldn't worry about Denmark, and honestly, I don't think I would really worry about China. I mean, look at this. There's a 5x difference between these two countries. 300,000 is outrageous. And, I don't know. Leave a comment. What do you think would be a good dollars per soldier per year? $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, or $60,000? Maybe I'll run a poll on a couple of forums, see what they think. And the beauty is, your city-state makes that decision. That decision is made on the city-state level within the Pan-Arctic Constitution. So you can decide how strong your military is going to be compared to your neighbors and other nations around the globe. Anyway, I guess I'm going to wrap it up there. This mathematics was really complicated, really exciting, and I learned a lot. I hope you did too. Thank you, and have a nice day.